we go. Thursday, January 20th, 2022. Armani and Edwards, the bottom line. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, my friend. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, my friend. And let me start by asking you, how has your week been going and how was your day going?
I'm doing just fine today, Braylon. Thank you so much for asking. It's nice when people ask you how your day is going. And you know what? You don't always have to tell them it's going great.
Yeah, it's true, especially when you're dealing with friends. I think we're pretty good friends. I think myself and Maz is our big uncle. I think we're in a space where we can ask each other and feel good about each other and check on each other. So Amen. I asked that question as I wear the mental health sweatshirt today, and we'll get into a bit of that later on. But you got to check on people that you care about, even if it's just, hey, how you doing?
I saw what you did there. I love the shirt because it's a good reminder, too, to check in on those loved ones, those friends, even just say hi to a stranger.
Goes a long way.
It does go a long way. Yeah. Speaking of the stranger himself, Uncle Maz, Tom Mazaway, with us. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. I fought off the migraine, man. I'm ready to go. It's bowling night. I had to get ready.
See, that's why you fought the migraine off.
I'm ready to go.
You ever think of Botox?
No.
Botox.
I've been hearing people do that.
Botox, I hear, is a good remedy.
I'll tell you, man. They knock the living daylights out of me. These freaking headaches. I wouldn't wish them on my worst enemy.
No, you're doing good though today.
I'm doing it right.
And we certainly want you to be okay.
The stranger, that was a good one, man.
Hey, shout out to Alex, Al May, watching at home. Feel better, kid. We'll see you next week.
That's right, man. In the house today, we've got the drinker, Sawyer Binge. Sawyer
coming in, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a good nickname for you?
Nope.
With a last name like Binge?
I mean, we wear it. My dad got it a lot in college. I got it a lot in college, so it kind of just comes with the family,
Fair enough. We got Sam Reynolds here as well. Sam, say hello, everybody.
How's it going, guys? How y'all doing today?
Real fine, and you?
I am great. I'm so happy to be here like every day.
That's what I'm talking. See the energy?
Let's go. That's a little energy.
Sam is my sports fan. He's my sports guy in waiting. This guy. This guy's gonna hit.
Sam's the guy when I'm making a point or I'm trying to dig for a player or a stat. I kind of look at Sam as I'm giving the stat. I'm like, yeah, it was Adams the third, was it? And Sam's like. So I'm like, Sam's my guy to do that kind of. No one knows that. I shouldn't expose my truth, but there it is, man. I hope they forget about this in about a week.
Absolutely. Guys, want to thank everybody watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, however you're consuming Woodward Sports, we certainly appreciate you doing so. Please tell a friend about us as well. We've got great shows in the morning, great shows in the afternoon, and of course, we hope you like our show. And if you're tuning into our show, we certainly thank you for doing that. Of course, the Woodward Bet Show coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. We will have Chris Prince on from Woodward Bets. Beerman looking ahead at the divisional round. 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. We'll talk to Beer in about 90 minutes from now. Also coming up in about 35 minutes from now, we'll talk to Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency. We'll get into Malik McDowell's situation a little bit. We see the video. Everybody's making up their minds on this thing. We'll talk to Sean Jordan about just, empathy. We'll talk to him about just kind of taking a wait-and-see approach as well, and before you make up your mind.
Taking an educated approach. Yeah. I feel like so often and now we're so fast to judge. You see things
because of this thing.
Say it again. You jump on social media, you see a GIF made or you see a meme made, and you see something, and automatically you have your opinion about something without giving some educational advice to then allow you to sit back and make an honest decision. So that's why we're going to talk to Sean, and we're going to have a good time with it as well, man.
Remember years ago? The Lions coach, Joe Cullen.
Oh, yeah.
You remember he was
the drive-through.
He drove naked through a Wendy's.
Yeah, the drive-through.
We've gone through lots of this stuff here in this Detroit area. That's all I got to say.
The drive-through, the malice at the palace. You talk about Ron Artest now.
Hell yeah.
And you see his story, and you see what it had to do. It had to do with a lot of level of mental health as well as some anxiety things, their depression. So we'll get into that.
I'm a big Ron Artest fan.
I am too.
St. John's. I used to love him.
World peace.
There
we go.
And especially if you've seen that, what was the HBO docuseries?
No, Netflix. Malice at the Palace.
Yep, the Malice
Bad
at the
Sport, I think is what it's called.
And when you get a look at Untold Stories, it was the Malice at the Palace. Thank you for that. Great job, Braylon. When you get a look at what really was going on, if you peel back the curtain and understand what was happening with Ron Artest at that time, with a couple of other players at that time, you really get a sense of, what you thought back then was totally twisted into what the actual reality was. And, I'm always a big believer in the more information you have about a certain topic, the better informed your opinion about it can be.
There you go.
So we'll wait for more information to come out about that. But, guys, we will get into divisional round weekend, 4 games, as I mentioned. We'll get into the quarterbacks as well. But I do want to start with this Bruce Feldman tweet yesterday. This is starting to pick up steam for now. I went back through my old Twitter. On January 7th, we tweeted about Michigan going to the Raiders, about Jim Harbaugh going to the Raiders. Nobody really made us think about it. We don't know what we're talking about, this, that, and the other thing.
People throwing stuff out there.
You're trying to hit it up against the wall. On January 7th, if you go back to my Twitter and look at it, I tweeted about this because we have information about this. And Bruce Feldman tweeted about it. Let's throw it up. It's what everybody's talking about. Multiple sources inside Michigan football told The Athletic this week that they think if Harbaugh is offered the Raiders head coaching job, he'd take it. And that's the God's honest truth. That is not, to me, that is not speculative. I think that's the situation. It's Michigan or it's the Raiders.
Yeah, I think that, and that is 100% what it is. It's Michigan or the Raiders. The Raiders give him the best opportunity to win right now, to walk into a situation where he's not scratching his head halfway through the season and saying, damn, what did I get myself into? Why did I leave Ann Arbor? So the Raiders would be the best situation for that. But also, I said, I don't think he's leaving. I can see why you may say that. I don't think he's leaving. I think everything is exactly where he wants it to be, where he wanted it always to be, and now he's here. But with that said, wherever you have a situation where somebody is, getting tried of potentially leaving somewhere and going somewhere else, there's always going to be somebody in the facility or in the building that you can get to say, hey, if the job is offered, that guy's getting out of here. So now it becomes, who is this person in the building, and what is the type of credentials and credibility does it have? Because is this somebody in the building that, is it an equipment manager? Is this someone at the front desk? Is it his secretary? Is this the defensive coordinator? Is the running backs coach? So then it becomes what person in the building? Because I could say the same thing.
We've got people, Maz, connected to Mark Davis.
Yep, we sure do.
That sit in the owner's box with Mark Davis. So that's where this information's coming from on our end. Mark Davis is infatuated with Jim Harbaugh.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. And you know what? One thing, people don't agree on anything these days.
They don't.
If there's one thing we can agree on, billionaires usually get their way.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah.
If a billionaire wants something, chances are he's going to get it.
We had Hondo on yesterday, Hondo Carpenter. And before it was en vogue, Mark Davis threw $10 million a year at John Gruden.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so money's not the object here. These guys are living in the desert. They did not pay for that stadium. That was public funding. That stadium is gorgeous. They're just making money hand over fist. The Raiders' commitment to excellence. Al Davis goes way back to their quarterbacks coach in 2003.
Yeah.
And, back there, that's Jim Harbaugh. If he's going anywhere, he's going to go to the Raiders. The more days that go on, I know they're having a hard time. And like I said the other day, I think his wife is probably saying, look, we got it good here, Jim. And he's like, well, I want to do what John's doing, my brother. I want to meet him in the Super Bowl. I want to meet him in the AFC Championship because they'd be in the same conference this time. I feel for the guy. I mean, how hard is it to turn down an NFL job, man, that's waiting for you, and a team that could win now? But Rich Bisaccia interviewed yesterday. We'll see. If Harbaugh don't get it, at least I hope Rich gets it.
Especially when, and you make a very good point, especially when, Ryan, you've touched the Super Bowl, but you didn't get a chance to take it back home. Like when you were right there to the Lombardi Trophy, and it was staring you in your face. And not only did you not get to take it home, somebody did get to take it home and put it somewhere where you can see it every holiday, and that's your brother. And it's one of those situations where, on the flip side, what if Michigan would have made it to the national championship game this year, and he got a chance to be right there next to that trophy, and then he didn't get to take it home because Alabama beat him in the game? Now it's a better question because it's like, you know what? I think he stays. See, now that he didn't even reach the game, it's like, I see him get to the NFL. So it's one of those things.
Raiders haven't won since Marcus Allen played for them.
It was, what, the 87?
Tom Flores
86?
was the head coach. He's in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
John Madden won it before that. He's in the Hall of Fame now.
Maz, I do want to make mention, though, too, because we keep referring to Jim Harbaugh's wife, and she probably wants to stay in Ann Arbor. Jim and Sarah Harbaugh did meet in Las Vegas. That's where they met.
I didn't know that.
So
Oakland?
yeah,
Or in Las
no,
Vegas?
in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
So Jim has the
I
connection.
want to know about that trip.
Jim has the connection to the Raiders. Sarah has the connection to Las Vegas. So the more you kind of peel this thing back a little bit, I do think this is a possibility. Now, the one thing I don't know, and I'm going to ask you guys to answer this in the next segment here, is does Rich Bisaccia get that job if Harbaugh says no, or does Mark Davis choose Rich Bisaccia over Jim Harbaugh because he thinks that's the best position for the Raiders? I want to ask you guys that question. What is Mark Davis's first priority right now? Getting a deal done with Jim Harbaugh or getting a deal done with Rich Bisaccia? Armani and Edwards.
I got a good answer for that.
Me too.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
The pros know. Go! Listen Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neil Rule.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. That's right, this place is wicked awesome, and one of the wicked awesome things about it is you can walk in anytime, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. All you got to do, walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Ooh-wee!
It's a handsome looking guy over there.
That's right, Precision Haircuts, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. This place is wicked awesome. Several locations.
Hey, Ryan, is it really that easy to come in, get fit, sign the book, sit down, and get done? Is that's just that easy?
It is so great. See my girl Jamie walking over there. Hey, Jamie,
walking
how
over
you
there
doing?
right now.
She's got a client
She's
over
about to
there.
hook somebody up, get somebody fit the right way.
Several locations throughout the Metro Detroit area, also throughout the country as well. Check out a Lady Jane's near you. So before the break, I asked the question, Braylon. You know, what are the Raiders thinking here? Is Mark Davis, is his goal to get Jim Harbaugh, or is his goal to, really, they interviewed Rich Bisaccia yesterday, and if Rich Bisaccia is the man for the job, they'll hire him and say, Jim, thanks, it's just we think he's the best guy for the job. What do you think is going on with the Raiders right now?
This is what I think. I think, one, first and foremost, Rich Bisaccia is the guy that should get the job. You've seen the players come out and talk about it, be it Derek Carr, who's another person that all the players have lobbied for. A lot of players saying they don't want to be there without Derek Carr, and there's some people that want to go there to play with Derek Carr. I'll let Mass talk about that. But with that being said, the players have come out, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, they've talked about wanting to play with Rich Bisaccia. If Rich Bisaccia isn't here, it's going to be a problem. So Rich Bisaccia is the guy that they should bring back. Now, with that being said, Jim Harbaugh wins at every level. Jim Harbaugh wins wherever he goes. Like, when you look at having to replace a coach, when you look at wanting to get a team from a playoff team to an AFC champion team or get to a Super Bowl team, you got to have that coach. You got to have the right coach. Harbaugh won at San Diego. Harbaugh won at Stanford. Harbaugh won at San Fran. Harbaugh won in Michigan. Like, everywhere he's gone, he's been a winner. He's one of the premier brands in the country as it relates to head coach. He's a brand on both levels. He's a brand at the NFL. He's a brand in college. He's a brand. Nick Saban is a brand. Like, Nick Saban's a brand. You think about it, he's a brand. I heard this earlier. Calipari may not win but one national championship, but you trust him as a brand as it relates to college basketball. That guy is a brand. Jim Harbaugh is one of those brands. He's a guy that comes in and instantly makes your institution better. He makes your team better. So if you have an opportunity, as Mark Davis does, to throw some money,
$12 million a year minimum,
at Jim Harbaugh, to get a Jim Harbaugh in your organization, you have the responsibility to your franchise, to your organization, to do everything you can to ensure that Jim Harbaugh is your coach. Now, that's where it's a tricky subject because the players want Rich, but Jim Harbaugh is a guy you got to go after. And if you don't, it looks like negligence on the part of a head man.
Okay, I'm Mark Davis now. Okay, fellas? you guys are Jim Harbaugh.
You got a better haircut, though.
I do not much, but a little bit better. He just puts a bowl over his head.
Right.
All right. Nonetheless, I'm Mark Davis.
Yeah.
Jim, I want you to come here. I want you to be the general manager and head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. I want you to win a Super Bowl. I'm going to pay you $12 million. Same thing that Jacksonville paid Urban Meyer. I'm also going to give you a bunch of stuff that you can hit. You win a Super Bowl, you're going to be making $20 million. I'll give you an $8 million bonus. I want you to bring us back to prominence. I want you to put the Raiders back on the map. Your general manager and your head coach, because they got rid of Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock, say what you want about him, he might have missed on some first-round picks, but they made it to the playoffs, and he has them. It's rare that you see a team go to the playoffs and have the general manager fired. It's rare. That's because the door is open for him to give the keys to the kingdom to Jim Harbaugh.
And
so
let's
you're
be honest
Jim.
here.
Are you turning it down?
No, and let's be honest.
I'm just waiting to sign the contract. That's my contract. What do I sign? Is it right here? Okay, this little Jim, this little coach football. Cool. Me and the wife will be back in a week.
Welcome, man. Hey, we got you. You want to live anywhere you want. Here we got
24/7 usage of the jet?
Yep.
I'm there. Deal's
matter
done.
of fact, hey, you could buy John Gruden's home, the one that he built that he's going to leave.
And you know what? There is something about pride, too. Anybody that says that the pride didn't take a hit for taking the pay cut,
Yep.
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Pride is a big deal. If you think that Mark Davis is going to offer anybody less than what John Gruden got, you're crazy.
He's not going to offer less than Urban Meyer got.
No, $12 million a year. That's minimum. Now, do I believe Michigan would pay $12 million a year? I do believe Michigan would match anything
They can afford it.
that the Las Vegas Raiders will shoot or throw at Jim Harbaugh.
Not to mention, Jim Harbaugh has a better record than John Gruden. Jim Harbaugh has a better winning percentage. Jim Harbaugh went to a Super Bowl as well. He didn't win, but he also didn't have the luxury of playing against a team that he used to coach, using the same calls that he had a year before in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against the Raiders. But, yeah, he has a better record. He's a better coach. He's proven more throughout the years, like, yes, they will throw that. And if it's a deal like that on the table, you would have to be a fool. You would have to be selfish to get mad at him for taking that deal. And I guarantee you, he's talked to his players, and he said, look, right deal comes on the table, I'm leaving. If not, I'm staying.
I think he's gone, man.
Maz, I said it yesterday. I said it 2 weeks ago. I think this is a slam dunk. I think Michigan fans better start preparing for the fact that Jim Harbaugh is going to go to the NFL. And I'm not saying that for clicks. I'm not saying that for views. I'm saying that because that's all the signs point to that. This is not a situation. And to be honest with you, let me say this. I'm not mad at him.
Yeah.
I do not blame him.
And guess what? If it goes the other way, I'm happy. If he stays here,
absolutely,
I'm happy.
I want him to stay.
Me too.
There is no situation in the world I'd rather be wrong about than this one.
Me too.
Because there's no situation in the world I'd rather be wrong about than this one. But Jim Harbaugh is going to the Raiders, guys.
Now, you told me about Sarah?
Yeah.
I'm all in now.
Everybody better start preparing for this to be a reality.
I don't know how often we use this term and it actually is truthful. I don't know how often we use it and you know it's telling the truth. This is a win-win. It's a win-win. It's a win-win for Harbaugh. If he goes to Oakland if he goes to Vegas, I usually get that right.
Yeah, I know.
If he goes to Vegas under those terms, it's a great situation for him. It's a great situation for his family. And it's a great situation for the Las Vegas Raiders as well. If he stays in Michigan, it's a hell of a situation. It's great for Harbaugh. It's great for Michigan. And it's great for the Michigan fans. This is a win-win for Jim Harbaugh, either way he go, because I think the Michigan faithful will understand if he goes.
That's a great point, Braylon, that I don't think enough people have really talked about, too. I as a Michigan fan, would not begrudge him 1 second for leaving the University of Michigan for a couple of different reasons, though. One, because he came to Michigan and did what he said he was going to do. They beat Ohio State, and they won a Big Ten championship. And at Michigan, that's the big deal.
Oh, by the way, he's run four times. He's gone 10 or more wins.
Absolutely. So that's a great point, too. And look, college football in 2022 is not what college football was in 2016. It's not what it was in 2019. It is a completely different sport. In 3 or 4 years from now, we will not recognize the sport. And if you're Jim Harbaugh and you have any vision of going back to the NFL, this is your time. I wouldn't begrudge him for 1 second of that.
Every second that goes on that he doesn't sign on the dotted line in Ann Arbor, this tells you. And now, let me ask you this. Are you allowed to accept the job before the NFL playoffs are over? Is that why it's taking so long?
I don't know what that is. I mean, I don't know what the reason would be if the NFL allows people to interview for jobs.
They just did that this year.
Yeah, we know.
Remember, the Super Bowl trumps everything.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do anything until after the Super Bowl. I'm not sure if that rule has changed. Maybe we waiting till the end of February.
Maybe you can't break news the week of the Super Bowl. However, we know what coordinators are going to interview for jobs and everything like that. I mean, the names are out there.
Rules change from time to time. Obviously, I played in the league, but things have changed since the last time I was there. I would imagine that you can interview and you can announce a head coach at a team as long as they're not still currently playing. Like if their team's no longer active, so obviously if something was coming out about the Bills or the Chiefs, then you have to wait on that because it's probably rules and guidelines. But if your team's no longer in the playoffs, their season's over with. So if you're
but we see Brian Dable and Leslie Frazier taking a day off yesterday to go interview with teams,
and that's what I'm saying. But so that's what I'm saying. I think you can. Yeah. I think you don't have to wait till Super Bowl Sunday.
How about this?
Or
do you think there's a possibility that Jim Harbaugh takes the GM job and then says, Rich Bisaccia, you coach the team?
No, not at all.
Okay,
not at all. And in fact,
maybe he keeps him on his staff.
No, I think Jim Harbaugh probably has a situation where he has the final say in the roster, but you have somebody else be the general manager, kind of like Stan Van Gundy. Remember when Stan Van Gundy was the Pistons coach?
Yep.
He had a general manager. I forget the guy's name now. It escapes me. But the general manager did all the dirty work, did all the administrative stuff and all the homework on the players. And then Stan Van Gundy just had the final say in the roster. Yeah, did all the press conferences, had the final say in the roster. That's how I could see that situation.
He's a coach. Jim Harbaugh is a coach. He likes to be a
Jim Rat.
Yeah, exactly. He likes to be in he likes to be in charge of the plays.
Jeff Bauer.
He likes to be in charge of the way in which the game is going, like the orchestration between coordinators, players, connecting, being the guy that wins the games, taking the blame if they lose the games. That's what Jim lives for. Like he couldn't take a general manager role and hire a head coach. He's just not built that way.
Yeah,
but that's a hell of a thought, though.
And I am curious to see what a majority of Michigan fans would think if Jim Harbaugh left for the NFL, which I believe he's going to do. I do think you got the finger on the pulse, I think, a little bit at least, and I think most people would be accepting of that and wish him well.
I think so too. I think one, you have his cult followers that was there for him through everything, through whatever. Then you have the people that kind of turned away from him. They came back last year because
That's me.
Me as well. Like the people came back to him. So I feel like he has everybody together and making a decision. He did everything right by Michigan last year. I mean, he lost the Georgia game, but hey, it is what it is. He did everything right by Michigan. So if he were to leave now, I think you would have a lot of people that would support him. It was like, hey, he did everything he said he would. He set the program in motion, in a forward motion, won a Big Ten championship, was close a couple other times, beat Ohio State. I think he's done everything to your point, and I think people will be okay with him leaving under that.
And you're cool with Mike Hart taking over?
Now I am. I wouldn't have been cool a year ago, but I'm cool now. I think so.
I am too, and we'll talk more about that coming up. And that's what I think it'll be. I think it'll be Mike Hart if, in fact, Jim Harbaugh leaves for the NFL.
Taking the page out of Notre Dame's playbook.
Absolutely.
Not a big name. You're gonna stick with somebody.
How many people
already there?
How many people heard of Marcus Freeman before he got the job?
Well, you don't know how good he's going to be.
We don't.
It's the same thing, though.
We don't.
But there's big names still out there.
All right, we'll talk more. Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. None of them.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
It's all happening now.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Maz Maz, you asked the question before we just took a short break there. Would you be cool if Mike Hart was named the next head coach of the Michigan Wolverines? I do believe that the coaching hire would come from within the staff.
Yeah.
And the only two guys I think right now you could look at would be Josh Gaddis, Mike Hart. Well, three guys. Josh Gaddis, Mike Hart, or Mike McDowell.
I'm just not excited.
Yeah.
When I hear that, I'm just not.
I understand that, but
I don't know why. I just feel like
because they're not huge names. But you look at the ages of people: Lincoln Riley, 37 years old; Ryan Day, 42; Auburn coach, 44; Matt Campbell, 41; Josh Heupel at Tennessee, 43; PJ Fleck, 40; Billy Napier, 41. I mean, coaching has gone in a completely different direction.
Everything
now.
has really.
Yeah.
Everything has.
It's gone in a completely different direction.
Yeah, I mean, also, you look at Mike. He's cut his teeth in some great places. He was there for Tom Allen and the rebuild that they did in Indiana, and they literally became a team that started bullying teams in the Big Ten. Like, they should have beat Michigan 2 to 3 times. They had Ohio State on the ropes, and he cut his teeth at Western under PJ Fleck. PJ Fleck goes undefeated at Western. With Corey Davis, still a tremendous wide receiver that played for the Titans. I want to say he plays for the Jets now. He's been in some. See, I told you, Sam's my guy. He's been in some places where he's coached under some guys that are doing really well now. You got to take that experience. And by the way, Michigan has one of their top 4 seasons ever in the history of the program under Jim Harbaugh. Guess who's the running backs coach? So that's what I'm saying. He has a lot of invaluable experience. Not to mention he played in the NFL and he's all-time leading rusher at the institution that he's coaching for right now. When you start to break it down like that, it makes you a little more excited. But I do get you. It's not coming from a place of hype.
He ain't Mel Tucker to me.
But what was Mel Tucker before?
Can I just say something?
Oh, go ahead.
When they hired Mel Tucker, I just looked at him, and I just think he is like Dan Campbell. I looked at Dan Campbell, and he oozes football. Mel Tucker, to me, oozes football. He's been around. He's been in the NFL. He's been back and forth. I know he's only had a few years as a head coach.
Right.
I can't compare a Mel Tucker to a Mike Hart.
But you don't have to compare Mel Tucker to Mike Hart. You compare the other 8 names that he gave you. You look at Ryan Day. Ryan Day was given a team that was great. He's a similar situation to Lincoln Riley. Like, everyone loves the Lincoln Riley hire at USC. Lincoln Riley was a pretty much young unknown until Bob Stoops said, hey, you know what? This guy's going to tease. He got the keys to the kingdom.
I think I'd rather have Stan Edwards coach him.
Yeah, he'd be a hell of a coach.
Right. You ever heard of Zach Taylor before?
No.
Zach Taylor's 30.
He still gets carded in bars.
Zach Taylor's 38 years old. He's coaching in the divisional round for the Cincinnati Bengals right now.
Kellen Moore's younger.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore's younger than Mike.
Kellen Moore's your hot coaching candidate right now.
So
what about Brandon Staley? How old's Brandon Staley?
He's a kid too.
39.
Yeah. What about? I mean, the list goes on and on. Look at Kingsbury. Look at
Sean McVay is 35.
Shanahan,
and he's been coaching for 6 years.
McVay
is 35 and been coaching like 6 years.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I mean, it's like crazy how young these guys are. It is totally going in a young man's direction. So if you're Jim Harbaugh too, you look at this trend. How's Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing, and I thought about it, and I apologize I didn't bring it up yesterday, and I'm bringing it up now. You talk about Harbaugh not wanting to continuously recruit players, because that's how it is nowadays. With the NIL, with the transfer portal, you're basically recruiting these players, even as they're on your team for 4 years, because you got to keep them happy. You got to keep them there. You got to keep them fed. But if you go out to Las Vegas, just look at what they dealt with this year in terms of undiscipline, in terms of what Vegas brings, in terms of what's offered there, in terms of look at the players that got in trouble. Whether it was the DB, that's off the team, whether it was Henry Ruggs. Like, if you go to Vegas, there's going to be that level of having to monitor that. And players that aren't necessarily disciplined enough to monitor themselves. That's going to be that too as well.
But how different is that from playing in New York, the city that never sleeps?
It's different.
Is it?
It's different. Vegas is a different type of city. Like, I partied a lot in New York, but I still got up and went to work and did whatever. But Vegas, it screams different. I don't know how to explain it. Like Sin City. Well, it's called Sin City,
man. It's
called Sin City.
Everything you want is there for you.
Everything you want and don't need
you know what I mean.
Everything you want and don't need is there calling. I heard you snort over there, by the way. Everything that you want is calling you at all times. Here, I'm come get me. I'm set. I'm female escort. Come get me. I'm game. I'm video game, or I'm slot machine, or I'm blackjack. Stay up all night. Here, I'm the club. Come to this club where Snoop is gonna be, or this Hollywood celebrity, or this celebrity. Come over here, and like there's so much to do at all times, and it just screams and clamors to people that aren't disciplined.
Hey, YT Sparty put out a good one on YouTube. Brad Ausmus and Mike Hart. He thinks Mike Hart is a Brad Ausmus. Brad Ausmus is not the right guy for that Tiger team at that time. Do you think Mike Hart is the right guy for the Michigan Wolverines at this time when there's a guy that you can go out and maybe get a Luke Fickell? Let's just say Luke
I
Fickell.
like that comparison, but the only difference is I think one of the biggest reasons why Michigan had a lot of success this season was the connectivity of the players, the young players, being able to connect with Mike Hart, being able to connect with Coach Klink, being able to connect with Ron Bellamy, my former recruit trip hoster. Like, they can connect to him. Like, Mike's a guy, man. He's young guy enough to connect, but Mike's a serious guy. Like my dad said, Mike's a 55-year-old trapped in a 34-year-old body.
That's right. Stan did say that.
Yeah, that's what Mike is.
I think if you really go back and look at Mike Hart and his career, even when he was in the NFL, every point along the way, he's been working towards becoming a head coach. Whether it's in college, the NFL, that's what he's been doing in studying and working to become a head coach. And if you go through that coaching resume, you'll, at least to me, I've never seen a player say anything bad about him.
Yeah.
And if you have if you're a coach and your players don't say anything bad about you, man, that's pretty darn good, man.
You know what Mike Hart told me when he was in college? Like, this is when he was still in college. Mike Hart, I was gone, but Mike had to be a junior or a senior. In fact, it was either his rookie year with the Colts or it was his senior year at Michigan. He told me he wanted to be the first black head coach at the University of Michigan. That has always been his thing. He wanted to be the first black head. You know what? It was just after his rookie year with the Colts, because he saw the NFL. He said, "You know what? I'm glad I made it. This really ain't for me." He said, "I want to be the first black head coach," and that's when he started hitting the coaching.
Was Dungy there at the time?
Dungy was still there.
Well, there you go.
Dungy was still there. There you go. Dungy was still there. Because I don't think Caldwell got there until
either one.
Yeah, you're right.
Either one.
07, 08. But yeah, he basically told me my first. And I'm not the only one he told me. He said my job, my career, my goal in life. First black head coach at the University of Michigan. This is 2005.
Right. Cody says, Ryan, if Mike Hart didn't go to Michigan, would you even be talking about him taking over? The answer, Cody, would be no. And the reason I wouldn't be talking about him taking over is because he wouldn't be on the staff.
Right.
And the only reason I'm talking about him in terms of taking over right now is because he has had a year at Michigan under Jim Harbaugh with these players who have a relationship with him. And I think Michigan would ultimately elevate somebody on the staff. And if you look at the staff as it's currently constructed, I think Mike Hart is the guy that's better prepared than anybody to take over that head coaching role. That's why I believe if Jim Harbaugh leaves, and I do think he's going to leave, I think it's Mike Hart who takes over this situation, and you keep this train going.
Yeah, and, just pay attention to the things I said. Like, don't just look at Mike Hart as, running back.
I can't get it out of my head, little
running
brother.
Running back that went to Michigan.
I still can't get little brother out of my head.
How about this?
I can't.
How about this? How about Mike Hart versus Mel Tucker?
I know. I can't get it out of my head.
Are you ready for that?
I was thinking that yesterday.
I can't.
Are you ready for that?
Mike Hart versus Michigan State. As soon as you brought that up as an option, I instantly went there. Waiting for that.
Oh man!
All right, maybe I'm on that.
Guys, I do want to make a mention of this as well. The University of Michigan has agreed to a $490 million settlement in the Dr. Anderson case, one of the largest ever settlements in a case that involves male victims. So there are 1,050 survivors that will divvy this money up. Don't forget about the 60 attorneys as well. So if you take the attorneys out of it, you're looking at about 455 or so thousand. per survivor.
I don't know if that'll be enough for a guy like John Vaughn.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard today that 98% of the survivors have to decide where the money goes, how much, who gets what, and the 60 attorneys involved have already kind of agreed, where this money's going to go. So there'll be more to that story coming out, but the settlement was made. John Vaughn's been camping out in front of the president's house. Right there on, I think it's East University.
East University.
Yeah, East University. For like 100 days.
Yeah, no, it's one of those situations where, basically they have a pay scale. The pay scale is in place. There's a third-party individual that comes in place and says, where said individual gets paid upon reading their whatever they had to do or whatever the process was. So there's a third party involved, and some people will be allotted this based on their trauma and their things, and some people will be awarded and allotted that based on their level of trauma. And it's a good thing. It sucks that it comes on the edge of what happened at the University of Michigan in terms of let's deflect and let's just hurry up and close this case so we don't have to worry about said thing. But it's just good that they got this done. Like, a lot of individuals came out. You saw John Vaughn. It was kind of mortifying and horrifying just listening to him talk about his relationships with women over the years because of said incident and not being sure and being very unsure of that situation. See, Jared Bunch came out, Sports Illustrated, first-round fullback of the New York Giants back in '92. Jared Bunch, family member of mine pretty much. My dad trained him when he was transitioning from college to the NFL. It's just good that these guys are getting paid. They're getting taken care of. They went through hardships. And for them to come out, it doesn't matter how long it took. They came out, they stood on their grounds, and they deserve the money that they get.
Amen to that. Yeah. Guys, we're going to switch gears next. We're going to talk about this situation with Malik McDowell, video of him in an altercation with police and running naked near a children's center. A lot to unpack here with this story. Local kid here. And we'll also talk to Sean Jordan from the sports
SMA.
Yep, the sports marketing
friend
agency.
And family member of Woodward Sports.
We'll do it all next. Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Centron World is an aspirational lifestyle and is a beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. I take the turmeric, I say it every day, I take the turmeric and pineapple revitalizer shot every morning, and it has me feeling great and up for work. Centron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at LCA. We got to change that. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balance of hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, then Centron definitely is your choice. Centron is more than just a beverage. Oh, no. It is more than just a beverage. It's a lifestyle. Make you feel good. You look good. You feel good. You think good. You play good. You work good. All that is what Centron can do to enhance your life. And Centron doesn't just fit into your lifestyle. It enhances it, like I said, by encouraging you. Gives you that encouragement to look good, to feel good, to play good. Drink it, live it, Centron.
Guys, we're going to talk about this situation now regarding local guy from Southfield High School, Malik McDowell, Michigan State University, now a member of the Cleveland Browns. Malik McDowell was arrested earlier this week after being naked in public outside a preschool in Florida, then attacking police officers as they attempted to intervene. Braylon, this is a really touchy subject, too, because there's a lot of details that you think you know, but we really don't know. I do want to, if I could make mention to what Reggie Wins has told the Cleveland.com publication. Reggie Wins is McDowell's former high school coach at Southfield High School and is a mentor to him. Said he doesn't remember anything. He doesn't remember nothing. The conversation with him was so emotional. I don't know if someone laced him or what. I don't know. That's not him at all. All I'm hoping is that when they test him, they figured out he had been drugged. That is what Reggie Wynn, Southfield High School coach, Malik McDowell's coach, had to say about this.
Right.
Just hoping that, they find out that he was drugged or laced with something because he just doesn't remember the incident. Wild.
Yeah, you hope that is the case. They find out something like that where he was drugged in a situation where he couldn't be responsible for his action and the things that he were doing. Let's say it's not that. Let's say it's along the level of the lines of something that we may guess that it is, and that's mental health. With a mixture of CTE. You ask, what is mental health? I'm wearing a sweatshirt, and we'll talk to Sean in a second about it. But, I'll just read some definitions and go from there. Mental illness is a condition that affects a person's thinking, feeling, behavior, or mood. Mental health condition is far more common than you think, mainly because people that have it are scared to come forward. So you just listen to the definition, man. Like, it affects the mind, it affects the mood, it affects the behavior, and you may do or say things that you don't understand that you're doing and saying. And then you mix that level of CTE in with that. CTE is something that we know affects athletes with it's trauma to the head. It's chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Like, that's what it is. That's what CTE stands for. And that the symptoms of the definition of CTE, and I'll just read that to you as well.
Well, while you're looking for that, Braylon,
I got it right here.
Okay.
And CTE, a protein called tau, misfolds and malfunctions, causes other proteins to misfold and sets off a chain reaction where this malfunctioning tau slowly spreads throughout the brain, killing brain cells. So now you mix in, let's just say that this is the case, because we've seen this before. Everson Griffin, we saw that early in the year, the Minnesota Vikings. You saw Zach Stacy, the running back. Like, when you mix this together with the deteriorating of the brain cells, and the protein that goes to the brain cells, not to mention levels of mental health, and there's a ton of different disorders that you can have with mental health. It's not just one thing, it's mental illness. There's a ton of levels of underneath it, and one that I highlighted was borderline personality disorder. The definition of that fits well. I hate that people see an instance like this with a young man, and as opposed to asking yourself intelligent questions, you look at it and you say, oh, look at this guy, he's an idiot. Like, I saw a guy that said something on Twitter to the point, this is disgusting.
You can't go on Twitter.
He needs to, I'm just saying, but that's the pulse.
Yeah.
You see it and it's like, oh, this is disgusting. This individual, he needs to be thrown in jail and lock away the key. When I see a grown man that's in the NFL and he's in the streets and he doesn't have any clothes on, and he's fighting with cops, and he's sitting on the curb. He didn't go into the children's center, but he's sitting on the curb. Like, the first thing I think about, something is off with this individual. He needs help. He needs to put some help around him, as opposed to this guy is doing set thing. So now let's bring in Sean, if we get a chance, and let's have Sean. Sean's the expert, the sports marketing agency, and we'll have him kind of shed light on mental health and CTE and how they can kind of make a mean cocktail, if you will.
Sean Jordan from the sports marketing agency, proud family member here.
And my mentor.
And Braylon's mentor here at Woodward Sports Network. Sean, thanks so much for the time in weighing in on this. Just your big picture view of this entire story. Just, it seems really sad.
Yeah, it is sad. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, great. It is sad, and I applaud what Braylon was saying, because a lot of times we in the public or we in the media are quick to look at somebody and cast an immediate judgment, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's important to note that part of both definitions that Braylon read have to do with trauma, right? So whether it's trauma to the brain or something that happens that's acute in your life, a death in the family, somebody that, something terrible happens to you, right? There are different levels that can cascade into a mental health issue. So I think that we have to be careful when we put people in a box and try to, put a name or describe something that they're going through when we have no idea what actually happened.
Yeah, and Malik McDowell, for those of you that know, he was involved in an incident in 2019. I want to say it was here in Southfield, where he was arrested, and while the DUI, I believe, is why he was pulled over. While he was being arrested, he was yelling things of the nature of, "I want to see your supervisor," and yelling out loud and yelling at the top of his lungs, according to the police report. And you just look at what he had to go through in that situation. Then I think he was sued by the Seattle Seahawks for $795,000. He went to jail and all that. All that starts to tie into what Sean says, into trauma. Starts to tie into trauma. Then he goes to jail. Then he gets himself together. Sean, what do you think the onus is on the NFL in terms of putting together, I guess, more therapy sessions or doing more profiling? Because I think if you start profiling in college, you have a piece in which somebody is an instant, because all they care about in the NFL is money. Can you tackle? Can you hit? Can you catch a pass? Can you throw a ball? We'll forget about all this, as opposed to caring about the individual. Should there be more done on the NFL side of profiling these individuals before they even get in the league?
Well, I think that's a really interesting point that you're making, because we're starting to see that now, even on police forces, right? Instead of just having somebody come out to a situation and we handle it from we as a community, right, a collective community, handle it from a policing standpoint. Now we're starting to have mental health experts go out and really put their expertise on the line when you're in a tough situation with people. So I think that, and I don't know if there were any mental health professionals around those police officers with Malik down, when he was going through his issue a couple days ago. But I don't, not knowing that, that's a big point, and it kind of lends itself to what you're asking about. Should the NFL be more proactive as to how they're helping people? I think when you put somebody on suspension or what have you, the first thing you got to do is look at what are some of the things that we can do to help this person, because clearly those aren't normal, quote unquote, behaviors, right? So what does that look like? I think that opens the door for all kinds of mental health task force situations or scenarios that can help not just the NFL, but us in the general community kind of look at how we handle folks, right?
Sean, I want to ask you too, because you touched on something that sparked my interest. What can we do to help this person? And that's really the number one crux question. What can we do to help this person? Because it is not normal to attack police officers while naked in front of a preschool. That's just not normal behavior. The coach, the mentor, Coach
in broad daylight.
In broad daylight, Coach Wins says that
he's a good man, by the way.
He's a great
my father
man.
Knows him. He's a good man.
Great man who says, I just hope that we find out he was laced or drugged or something like that. I guess my question is, this seems like a pattern now. This isn't a one-off situation, and because of that, what can loved ones do in this situation? What could Coach Wins do? What could Cleveland's coach? What could Malik McDowell's parents? What could any loved one do now when they see video of? And look, Malik McDowell says, "I don't remember any of this," and I take him at his word for that.
Right.
I take him at his word for that. He doesn't remember any of that. So as a loved one, what can you do when you clearly see somebody needs some type of help?
Well, let's start where you started, and let's take him at his word, right? And let's say that he doesn't remember it. So right there, not remembering something that just happened to you, that's a mental health issue, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
when we start there and then go backwards and say, well, what entities, what organizations are in place in the community to help people, right? And I know we've talked about it on the show. We have engaged with just recently the Oakland Community Health Network here locally with the Oxford tragedy, right? And all of the things that surround that tragedy with respect to mental health, right? Yeah. And I think that when we start there and saying, okay, what do we have? What tools do we have to help this person? That's the right answer, Ryan. I mean, there's no other way to look at it.
Sean, I got one more, man, because I don't want to keep you too long on this, man. I just want to really get you in here. This is your field of expertise. I've been working with you in this field now for 4 years, so I thought it was imperative to have you on today. I think the big thing for me, man, just going back to, is just It's just the empathy from the people. And I think that's what I'm trying to get you to come on here and just have the conversation of like what mental health is, what CTE is. Because what CTE does, man, it eats at your short-term memory.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why something like this will make sense. Like a lot of the incidents that Aaron Hernandez went through, a lot of that was a lot of this. It's short-term memory. You lose your situation. You make decisions. You forget about set decisions. Look at D-Mac over there. You forget about set decisions you make. Like when people shoot up schools, when kids shoot, like, you know, I literally, I've seen every documentary as it relates to school shooting, whether it was Columbine, whether it was Sandy Hook, Oxford just happened here while we were all going through it in December. Like you instantly, they start to profile young individual and go through it with the kid. And what was the kid? Was the kid bullied? The individual out in Denver, in Colorado, in University of Colorado was last year or 2 years ago. It's what's going on with them? Were they bullied? What's on their social? This, that. You start to break down the psyche. But whenever, for some reason, it happens to a professional football player, because he gets paid, he's not human. They don't want to look at it that way. Once you insert money, once you insert, this individual plays for the Cleveland Browns or Everson Griffin plays for the Vikings, it's overlooked that their mental can be affected as opposed to an individual that might shoot up a school. So I think there just needs to be more understanding and more empathy for players. Listen, we are players, but we are human as hell, just like anybody else, and you got to understand the things that they're going through. So I know that wasn't
I
that was
appreciate
me.
the lead on that, Braylon,
Yeah.
and I'm going to say that not only are guys, players, current and former, right, but they are human beings, and just like you would look at a professional football player or any professional athlete, you would look at a police officer or people who are in traumatic or very highly stressful situations. When you start talking about lots of money and coming from a place where maybe you didn't have as much money, and with the salaries that these guys have and the pressure that's on them, that's a whole different ball of wax. I think that, germane to this particular conversation, we look at a traumatic situation, and it may be the sport, it may be something else that happened to Malik somewhere along the way, but it certainly deserves the attention of a professional. Now, I appreciate you saying that I'm an expert at this, and I'm not. I'm in the business of destigmatizing mental health and substance use disorder. And I think that, when you start looking at comments that you just made, that, hey, let's show some empathy, right? Let's look at ways that we can help people. Let's look at tools that we have around us to put not just the companies that we work for and work around and with, but also the league, like the National Football League or the National Basketball Association, right?
Yeah.
Like how are we setting up these guys, or how are we putting measures in place to help them help themselves? Who are the professionals? Who are the real experts, right? Like the folks that we're going to have on our show coming up. This is the F word. Like how are we gonna get the real counselors and therapists engaged and really shine a light on the good work that they do and their real true expertise and how they can help people out of dark spaces.
Yeah. Sean, I really do appreciate you. And last thing I'll say is I'm glad that Deerfield Beach Police didn't shoot him, because people have been shot for less. So the fact that he wasn't murdered in that case, in that state.
I think that's a great point to make, too, because it shows. It looked like pretty good policing if you see.
I have to give them all the credit in the world.
The way he was attacked.
A different
You're
way.
right, Braylon.
So I wanted to give some love to the Deerfield Beach Police, because it could have went a different way based on what they saw, what they dealt with. One of the cops is actually badly injured. So I really do appreciate them for how they handled the situation. Sean, brother, I appreciate you. Love you as always. And thanks for coming in today, man.
Hey, love you guys.
Appreciate it, buddy.
We'll be soon. This for
Absolutely.
We'll
Sean Jordan, CEO of the Sports Marketing Agency. Check him out online, thesportsma.com. Proud family member here at Woodward Sports Network. We're going to take a break, come right back. Quick segment here before we get you to the top of the hour. Ermani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You put that black and yellow sign out in front of your house. It says to the bad guys one thing. It says to stay out.
Get out of here.
That's right. Hey, whether you're home or business, you need a good defense that helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm, state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe 24/7. Local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home or your business, control your lights, your temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide, even going to let you lock and unlock your doors. All you have to do is be active and pick up the phone. Call them today. Right now, call them 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Hey, say it again.
That number again is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Nope, I'm not going for it.
Everybody on the YouTube with me, 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out of there.
Stay out of here. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Hey, Bray, we got something fun. You know what? Braylon loves the NBA. And
the WNBA.
How do you not?
And the WNBA.
Shout out to Candace Parker. They won this past year.
And the WNBA.
Chicago Sky.
Who we shouting out from yesterday? Who'd you send me?
Oh, she got she got fired.
But that's our girl.
She got fired.
She got canned.
Damn.
Indiana Fever, Michigan's own. I want to say Benton Harbor's own. She was canned.
So Braylon comes in. He's got all these notes on the NBA. And he says, "What kind of NBA topics you want to do today?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I don't know." And
Joel Embiid, maybe.
And I said, "Braylon, we need to have your own Braylon's basketball minute." So today is the debut of Braylon's basketball minute. We need some music, Sam.
Put me on the spot.
We need some music.
No, we need the Harlem Globetrotters.
We need that.
We need Sweet Georgia Brown.
And we'll ultimately need some sort of clock.
Put me on the spot.
We are putting him on the spot. This is a trial run. This is a trial run on Braylon's basketball minute.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be Braylon's basketball minute, but it can be.
Here we go.
Let's get this thing going. In basketball, let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers out west. What is going on?
What's going on?
It's all LeBron James' fault. LeBron James wanted to bring in Russell Westbrook. He disbanded the team to do so. Got rid of a lot of players that were coming off the bench. And guess what? Now they have no bench. Now they have no depth. It's like legitimately asking to be saved in the ocean because you can't swim. And the guy that's coming to save you to swim, guess what? He can't swim.
Can't swim.
And that's Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is atrocious. Yesterday he shot 4 of 6 from three-point, which is good. But he was 1 of 11.
Terrible.
In two-pointers. Russell Westbrook is a guy that he just hasn't seemed to progress in basketball. He hasn't seemed to get better. Shooting has gotten worse since he's won the MVP. His decision-making has gotten worse. His turnovers has gone up. As a player that's won the MVP and done so much, you think he would get better, and he hasn't. That's been the catalyst, and that's LeBron's fault. Don't blame Frank Vogel for that. Talk about MVP. Who won MVP last year? Nobody's talking about this guy.
Don't remember.
I know.
Giannis. Joker.
Nikola Jokic. He's getting no love in this year's MVP race. Meanwhile, doing something no one's ever done. 26.5 points, 14 rebounds a game, and by the way, he's given 8 assists a game.
Dang.
This guy is amazing. Last night,
walking
49, 10, 14. Nikola Jokic, a.k.a. the Joker. This guy gets it. Sticking with the big men. Oh, man, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is the most skilled big man in the NBA right now. KD's not a big man. He just happens to be tall. Joel Embiid is the most skilled big man in the NBA. He has foot like Kobe. He has feet like Mike. He has feet because he trained with Hakeem Olajuwon. Last night, 50 points, 12 rebounds.
How many?
50 points, 12 rebounds. And guess how many minutes?
How many?
27. 27 minutes. Only been done one time previous to that. 50 points, 12 rebounds, and 27 minutes. Looking at the East, looking at the West. Who's the top of the East?
Who?
The Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls.
The Miami Heat are number 2. What is this, 2011? Is this 2010? Are we in a time machine right now?
What
We're going
happened to
backwards?
Lonzo? What happened to Lonzo?
Lonzo Ball is getting off. He may not have the demeanor of his brother LaMelo Ball, who, by the way, had a triple-double yesterday. But guess what? He's getting off, and that's because DeMar DeRozan, a.k.a. Debo, is playing at an all-time high for him. Good for him.
MVP, man.
Good for him, because he got done real shady
He got
in
screwed
Toronto.
in Toronto.
Yeah, so he got done shady. And how about Ja Morant of the Grizzlies?
Oh, man.
Ja Morant of the Grizzlies is something special. They're sitting at number 4 in the West, playing amazing basketball. Ja Morant, 24.95, 9 and 8. This guy could be your MVP. Put it down right now. Plus 2,000. You guys like to talk about betting and lines. Plus 2,000 for MVP wouldn't be a bad bet. And that is Braylon's.
Hold on. The Pistons won.
Oh, yeah, they won.
Pistons won. Season high 133 points out there.
Excuse me. Shout out to the Pistons who won after we talked to Rod Beer yesterday. So Rod was up to something in Sacramento.
The great Kelly Olynyk.
He's finally back.
Back last night. By the way, Lonzo Ball surgery out 6 to 8 weeks.
He'll be back. He'll be fine.
He'll be back.
At least he's leaving there in first place. Shout out to Maz putting the music on the Globetrotters on the microphone.
Maz, today is DJ Day, Disc Jockey Day.
Today is National DJ Day? Guess who's my favorite? Guess who our favorite DJ is?
Radio Disc Jockey.
Oh, okay.
So, Maz, if you were not into sports, you would be a radio disc jockey like Casey Kasem. You want to be Casey Kasem.
I wanted to be
be.
Dan Ingram growing up. I'm from WABC, New York.
Ooh,
77.
So I got to work on the minute. It wasn't a minute. It was about
5 minutes.
No, it wasn't that long.
Like 4.
No.
That was pretty good. I was
captivated. It's like an hour 45 minutes. I mean, it was like a minute and 45 seconds.
I wasn't counting. I was captivated.
I appreciate that.
Good.
I want to go see the Globies again.
Good. They're here this weekend.
They're always around in February.
Oakland University.
Madison Square Garden.
Maybe we'll get Neil Rule to get us some tickets.
Always our birthday, Braylon. Always our birthday at the Garden.
They are at the Arena.
Huh.
Maybe it's this weekend or next. I don't remember, but check it out. Globetrotters at the Arena on the campus of Oakland University.
Arena.
That's right. Guys, back to the NFL next. We're going to rank the 8 remaining playoff quarterbacks. We'll do it next. Ermani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, guess what? It is the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Catch. Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Hey, Ryan, have you ever had vodka that was corn distilled 6 times?
Oh, man, hell yes, I have.
How about corn distilled 6 times with artesian spring water?
100%.
How about gluten-free vodka, corn distilled 6 times with artesian spring water?
Just earlier today.
What? My God, I love it. Talking about Gypsy Vodka, Adam and Mike, they got it right, man. This stuff is good. I've had it time and time again. Thanksgiving, it was very good. Christmas, it was very good. New Year's Eve, it was very good. This stuff is really good. Mix it with a little Cintron. There you go. That's called product placement.
Ooh-wee.
This stuff is amazing. We appreciate them being a sponsor because it's so fun to talk about. Look at that bottle. Look at the artwork that went into the scribing of that bottle. Getting that bottle right, oh, man, that is a process that they take time with, and they got it right. Check this out. Go in your local neighborhood liquor store and ask for Gypsy Vodka. And if they don't have any, tell them Braylon sent you. They'll get you something out the private stash because it's going like hot fire, so it may not be there. But guess what? If you're going to drink, please drink responsibly. That's the only way to do it.
Braylon's the only guy to put the AC on when it's 15 degrees outside.
Okay, so 3 things. 1, yes, he's right. Start there. 2, when I was up here with Commander Dale yesterday, Dale was wrestling me around. I got hot. And then when I was just doing the Braylon Edwards NBA basketball minute,
made you sweat.
I got a little hot. So
made you sweat.
Just give me 1 segment with it on. I'll turn it off after.
All right.
Guys, I wanted to rank the 8 remaining quarterbacks in the NFL draft. Maz, I want you to go first because your list is on our sheet right now, and I think that's cheating if we go first. You show me the 4 best quarterbacks, and I think it's – well, I'll just let you go first.
My top 8 in order. I got Aaron Rodgers right now, and I'm saying playing right now at the top of their it's Aaron Rodgers and Brady, and I'm giving the edge to Aaron Rodgers this year. I just think he is going to be a little bit more hungry than Tom Brady, and I know Tom Brady's been everywhere. I'm not disputing that he's the GOAT. So I got Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady as my top 2, followed by Patrick Mahomes, who is on his way to being number 1, obviously. Josh Allen is in the 4 spot for me, followed by my man Matthew Stafford. Joe Burrow on his way up the charts. I mean flying up the charts. He could actually be ahead of Stafford, but I'm going to put him below him this time. Then I got Ryan Tannehill for the way he can get out of that pocket, run that team. He gets a little help this week with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And I have Jimmy G as the 8th and final quarterback.
Richard Sherman likes himself some Jimmy G.
Richard Sherman thinks Jimmy G should be starting for the 49ers next year. And that brings us back to something we talked about midweek. What about Trey Lance, and what are they going to do? Did they miss with Trey Lance, or does he just need some seasoning, and how do you bench Jimmy G right now the way he's playing?
Is there any part of you that thinks that the 49ers are going to beat the
I'm
Packers?
scared.
Yes, okay.
Of course.
Because it's funny, last week we all said, everybody said, turn on any television
49ers.
channel, 49ers are the pick. They're going to beat the Cowboys. I don't see much of that this week, but...
I do.
I do too.
Really?
Spread has gone up 1.5 points. It's 6 now. But I'll tell you, the worst matchup for the Packers are the San Francisco 49ers.
I think they're the worst matchup for anybody in the NFC. I think also the reason why that spread might be going up is I wonder about the health of Nick Bosa. Like, Nick Bosa's health is something that I'm really concerned about right now. If Nick Bosa's injured, then they don't stand a chance to win that game. But if he's healthy, if he can play at a clip like he's capable of playing at, man, like getting after Aaron Rodgers with Nick Bosa and the way he disrupts that passing game, like that's major for them. They need that. Plus, they're more physical than Green Bay is. And that's something that, like, you get that physicality. Like, this is that time of year where the team that's most physical oftentimes can win games regardless of the other side of things. So
both teams are going to run the hell out of the ball.
This is true.
Debo Samuel is the wild card.
He's the wild card. He's the wild card.
Braylon, you got a list?
Yeah, I got a list. My list is mixture of who is the best quarterback right now, also who's in a better situation. Like, I think you got to add that too. So number 1 is Brady. Brady's, I'm sorry, what is his name?
Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Thank you. That's all you had to say. Number 2, Mahomes. I have Mahomes ahead of Rodgers from the standpoint. Mahomes has been to the playoffs now 4 times, but he's been the 3 times previous. He went AFC Championship, he went Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, and then he went Super Bowl again and played without his offensive line, who was banged up and out for the Super Bowl. Not giving him an excuse, but giving him a slight bit of excuse. So if you just look at his winning percentage, he's 1 for 2 right now. You know what I'm saying? And 2 of 1 in the playoffs. So that's better than Rodgers. Rodgers at 3, no need to talk about him. I got Allen at 4. Allen was super impressive. Allen was very impressive this past weekend. I know that they were playing.
Played the perfect game.
He's played a game that's never been played before. 7 for 7. It's never happened before. 7 for 7, and the only time they didn't is the kneel down. Which, if you want to count that, they were 7 for 7, 7 of 8 with the kneel down. Stafford, I got Stafford at 5. Burrow at 6. I was struggling with Burrow because of their offensive line. And then once we break down the games with the Titans, like, we'll talk about that. But I was nervous in the line, but I put Burrow 6. Jimmy G 7 because he's been to a Super Bowl, as Richard Sherman elected to point out. And then Tannehill 8. Like, that's me.
So Tannehill, you have worse there. I might. This is mine. I'm interested to see what you guys think of this. Obviously, I have Aaron Rodgers number 1.
You said, why would you say obviously?
Because I just think he's playing such good football right now.
Tom has 5,300 yards.
I understand it.
45 touchdowns.
I understand it, and he did it with Chris Godwin, and he did it with Antonio Brown for much of the season.
Antonio Brown missed 7 games. Chris Godwin missed 8.
Right. So that's half the season.
Exactly. He missed half the season.
All right. Fair enough. I've got Patrick Mahomes 2nd.
Okay.
I've got Josh Allen 3rd. I hate the fact that Mahomes and Allen are playing this week. I think this is the AFC Championship game right here. I think the Bengals and the Titans are really nice stories in their own right. I think the winner of the Buffalo-Kansas City game goes to the Super Bowl.
I get that, but you still haven't said Tom Brady's name. I'm waiting for Brady.
I have not. Then I have Tom Brady fourth.
Fourth? The guy with 7 rings, 10 chips, 10 Super Bowl appearances?
Fourth right now. I do.
I'm lost. I'm trying to figure out why.
I do.
Like for half the season, you asked, was Mahomes even still the thing? Like you asked if it was over for Mahomes.
But you said right now. Who's playing right now?
I'll shut up.
Now.
I did.
I'm using your words and applying it to my list.
You got me. I'll shut up.
Joe Burrow, I have 5th.
Yeah.
The dude's moxie is off the charts. And he ain't afraid. He ain't scared. He is playing.
We ain't scared. Jim Schwartz.
Then I have Matthew Stafford 6th. I do have him ahead of Jimmy G, Jimmy Garoppolo, just because this is like 6A and 6B, because Garoppolo, you saw, makes the same boneheaded throws that Stafford makes. Interceptions, is a little loose with the football. The only difference between Stafford and Jimmy G, too, of course, arm strength and all that stuff, but Jimmy G's got the running game.
Yep.
And Cam Akers, though, really gave Stafford and the Rams a running game.
Big time.
I was struggling with that, too, in terms of like Stafford or Burrow. But for me, it's also, like I said, best as well as best situation. Like when you look at Stafford, like his situation is tough.
Yeah.
It's a really good situation.
And then I have Jimmy G and then Ryan Tannehill last. And again, nothing against Ryan Tannehill. He ain't sexy to me. He ain't sexy, and I think that team is all about Derrick Henry. As Derrick Henry, however far Derrick Henry wants to take him, that's how far they'll go. Sam, you got something to say here?
I really like your list, Ryan. The only thing I would do is I would put Patrick Mahomes at number 1. I'm calling it right now. The Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes is going to prove that ever since he stepped on the field in 2018 in his second year, which was technically his first year starting, he has been the best quarterback in the NFL, and he still is.
Woo! Sam coming in hot.
Reynolds rap.
That's a hot take. I love that. Reynolds rap, baby. I love it.
You know what's real about that, what he said, Sam? Yeah, that's real. Patrick Mahomes has never been on the field and been the second best quarterback.
No.
Just think about that. Even in the Super Bowl last year. He's always been the number 1 quarterback when he steps on the field, which is going to be interesting because it's going to be the first time he's not number 1.
I do.
Josh Allen.
I wish I had a read. We're going to talk to Beer coming up in about 20 minutes. I have no read on the Kansas City Buffalo game. That's as much of a coin flip of a game.
We got to talk about it. You ready?
Yeah, that's as much of a coin flip game to me as any.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
So since are we slide?
We're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a break. Talk about the games this weekend. Also, I'm more in line with you on a topic too regarding Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford. I want to get to that as well. Armani and Edwards.
Forward Sports Network, baby. The bottom line.
Big deal.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, joint.
It's Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, it's Maz from MyBookie.ag, our studio sponsor and the place I put my sports wagering in. And guess what? If you're a first-timer to this is the place for you. MyBookie.ag, hop on, use the promo code Woodward. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's right. That is your money to do whatever you want with it. Lots of games coming up. We got Beerman coming up in just a few minutes, so you can listen to his tips. You got NBA and NHL, but you know what it is. It's the divisional playoffs. 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday for the right to play in the AFC, NFC championship games. Get on my bookie right now. Use the promo code Woodward. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie. And don't forget that promo code Woodward. If you have a gambling problem, please use and call the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Which game are you most excited for?
Outside, because there's only one answer to that. There's only one answer to that.
What is it?
Oh, I jumped again.
No, what is it?
Oh, Bills Chiefs.
Bills Chiefs, yeah.
So that's what I said. You got to put that to the side.
You know what?
Not me.
Oh, excuse me, man. I apologize.
Locally here, I do think a lot of people are into the Rams and the Bucks.
Not me.
We know what you want to see.
The Pack.
It's the best game. By
the
far.
Packers 49ers, you think is the best
Over
game?
the Bills Chiefs?
Yes, it's the game.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this.
Lambeau.
That's an awful take.
That's an awful take. It's not about where it's at.
Awful take.
It's you said Lambeau, and I said yes, it is Lambeau. It is the playoffs, but why is that the best game?
It's the best game for me because I enjoy nothing more than watching Aaron Rodgers and the Packers go to work at home, and they get to play a team that is really red hot and a team hard to root against. The 49er team. I love the way they are. I love Kyle Shanahan. It's the worst matchup for me because I got the Packers winning the Super Bowl, right?
Hey, you know what?
It's Saturday night. I can't wait.
His description, he won me over.
To be honest with you, I think these games...
He won me over.
These games...
They're awesome.
...are ranked exactly by the way they're being played. The worst game, Bengals-Titans, Saturday, 4:30.
It might be the best game.
It might be. The next game is the 49ers-Packers. And then Sunday, you've got the Rams-Bucks. And then the absolute main course is the Chiefs and the Bucks. Our Chiefs and the Bills. I mean, that is the way these games are played. That, to me, is the order of significance in which people are looking forward to that.
I agree, and the good thing about it is you won't have last weekend, Maz. You won't have last week. You'll have nothing but good games.
I hope you're right.
Great games. Corey, man, let's start breaking these games down.
I can't wait for any of them, man. I'm ready.
Well, start breaking that game down, man. Talk to us about 49ers and Green Bay. You kind of touch a little bit more about what do you expect to see happen?
I'm a running guy. Right. I love the running game. I remember the Dallas Cowboys.
And you love it when Jim Harbaugh gives the ball up the middle every time.
That I don't like. I like professional running.
You knock it off.
All right, I like pro running. And nothing beats the Packers backfield of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And I love Elijah Mitchell with the 49ers. He's going to be my keeper next year in fantasy football. I'm telling you, folks, Elijah Mitchell, 6th-round draft pick. The 49ers found themselves some gold.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell is really good. And you know, I think Ryan Clark said it early on in the week on ESPN. He said you got to start talking about this being a tough matchup or talking about, this being an upset or blah, blah. They're just a damn good football team. Talking about the San Francisco 49ers. It's going to be a good game, man. Both the teams run the ball well. I think 49ers are a little more physical. It's going to come down to a couple of things. I think one is, can Kyle Shanahan save Jimmy G from himself? You saw what happened at the end of that Dallas game. He threw an interception, and he wanted to go the Jimmy G route. And then Kyle Shanahan said, oh, hell no. You know what? He took the ball out of Jimmy G's hands, put it back in the running back's hands as well as Deebo Samuel. So that helped out. So will he be able to save Jimmy from himself? The running game, who's more physical? Does Nick Bosa play? And the wild card, David Bakhtiari is back in the building.
Do you guys see a blowout at all this weekend? Because I don't see any blowout.
I see one potential.
Tennessee?
No, it's not Tennessee. Tennessee is going to be an interesting game because if Derrick Henry comes back, this is like one of 3 or 4 times where all 3 of them be on the field at the same time. Talking about A.J. Brown, Julio, as well as Derrick Henry. So I don't see a blowout in that one. I think it'd be the Bucks and the Rams. I can see a blowout in that one.
You see the Rams blowing out the Bucks or the Bucks blowing out the Rams?
I can see the Rams blowing the Bucks out.
Wow.
I think if the Rams win, it's not close. If the Bucks win, it's a close game.
I'm afraid of that.
Tristan Wirfs not being healthy is dangerous because you got Von Miller, you got Floyd. Leonard Little, that's like Tennessee back in like the 90s. But you have Floyd, Von Miller, and you have Aaron Donald, and have Tristan Wirfs. That's tough. That's going to be a tough matchup. So if they win, it'll be close. The Rams win, it'll be a blowout.
Maz, you texted me at halftime of the Rams-Cardinals game.
Yep.
And you said the Rams are beating the Bucks next week. Do
you
still believe that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. But that's it.
What?
That's the end of them.
Yeah.
They will not win against the Niners, and they will not win against the Packers.
The Chiefs and the Bills, to me, is the most intriguing game in terms of this is going to be the most entertaining. Both teams are just so good, I feel like, and they're both playing their best football right now. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's what I like about it. I just love the fact that these two young quarterbacks are going to be going at each other for the next decade.
So in that game, you're 100% correct, man. Like it's great. It's made for TV. It's made for this moment. It's made for January, leaning into February, our birthday month / Super Bowl. It's just great. It's going to come down to which quarterback can go back and forth against the other quarterback, but stay within his game plan and not try to do too much. Like which quarterback can, obviously they're not playing against each other, but they are. Which quarterback, let's say Josh Allen sees Mahomes throw a 50-yard bomb, and then he comes back with a 30-yard touchdown, and then Mahomes comes back. Which quarterback tries to do something that's not in their wheelhouse? Because we know Josh Allen is faster. Do we see Patrick Mahomes try to get jiggy when he's running, try to get and shake some, bring somebody down and fumble and trip? Which one makes a mistake in that end? And the other one, which one of their running backs has the best game? Devin Singletary or Jerick McKinnon? Which one of those guys has the best game? That's going to tell the story.
I really don't know who's going to win, but if you made me give you a pick right now, I tell you the Bills are going to win that game. I think this is going to be a rivalry in the AFC that goes back and forth year after year after year after year. Mahomes is going to get his. Allen's going to get his. Mahomes won last year. This year it's going to be Allen.
The great thing is the theme of this playoff so far has been the rematch game. Like that's been the theme of this playoff is the rematch. Looking at this week, Buffalo beat the Chiefs this year. First time they beat them in 3 tries. Beat the Chiefs handily. They beat them. They beat them in good fashion. So the Chiefs are pissed. They want their get back. You look at you look at 49ers and you look at Green Bay. Green Bay won on a walk-off field goal with no time left. That's how they beat the 49ers. You don't think 49ers want to get their get back. And then, obviously, the Rams beat up on the Bucs. Now, Tom Brady still had 425 yards and a touchdown. But outside of that, the Rams beat up on the Bucs. So this is a revenge-themed weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. And, again, we'll talk to Chris Prince, Beerman, from our Woodward Bets team coming up in about 15 minutes from now.
Can I say one more small thing about the Rams?
Absolutely.
Small thing about the Rams.
I want to talk about that game next, too, but go ahead.
Should I wait or should I just say it now?
Go ahead.
Small thing about the Rams is, we put so much on Stafford in terms of Stafford, this is his time. Because this is true. This is his time to prove himself. If you wanted the pressure, you got the pressure. You want the big games, you got the big games. But we haven't talked about, Maz? Von Miller hasn't won a playoff game before last week since he was Super Bowl MVP. People think he's washed up. You think he's not pissed and trying to show his mettle? Odell Beckham had never won a playoff game. They said he was washed up. Said he was the problem in Cleveland. Said he was the problem in New York. Now he's balling. 6 touchdowns in 9 games. I think we don't put enough. Cam Akers, they say he wouldn't come back this fast. Says Achilles was shot. Wouldn't come back this fast. Wouldn't come back and mean anything. I think we haven't put enough of emphasis on how hungry Von Miller is, how hungry Odell Beckham is, and how hungry Cam Akers is. That's the wild card for the Rams. And so if they look good against the Bucs, I don't see any reason why they can't look good against the 49ers or Green Bay Packers.
I'm ready to go. 3 cold weather cities.
Cold War.
And 1 warm weather city. Tampa Bay or the Rams. If one of them win and San Francisco wins, they get to host the NFC Championship. Otherwise, it's in a cold weather outdoor stadium, and I absolutely love it.
Rodgers has never beat the 49ers in the playoffs.
Remember what I told you. Beginning of the year.
You did. You called it.
Throw it all out. He ain't losing.
Both my teams are still in it, by the way. Yours too, Ryan.
Yep, they are. Beginning of the season, I said Bucks over Chiefs.
I said Chiefs over Bucks.
And then midway through the season, I said Packers Bills.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so, all 4 of those teams.
Well, the bets I put in.
Yeah.
I bet the Packers to win the Super Bowl at plus 1,000.
Wow.
And I have plus 790 the Bills to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be something if it's Packers Bills?
That would be awesome.
You just start
that would be awesome.
You just got your hand out during the game. Just put money in the hand.
Sit at the window.
Now, how many first-timers could win? Let's see. The Bengals haven't won. The Titans haven't won.
Bengals, Titans.
Is that it? Bengals and Titans?
Guess so.
Rams.
And Bills.
Rams won.
Bills.
Warner with St. Louis.
That's what,
Bills as well.
Yeah.
Bills.
Oh, yeah.
Bills, Titans, Bengals.
Wow.
If one of them win, that knock that off the sheet.
Now, one of the things we've talked about is, because Dan Orlovsky said before the playoffs started that no player in these playoffs has more to lose than Matthew Stafford in terms of legacy, and I agreed with him until I didn't.
Somebody
didn't agree. You didn't agree with him. I agree with you now. Aaron Rodgers has the most to lose in these playoffs. I'll tell you why I changed my opinion on that next. This is Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Big names, bigger opinions. It's the bottom line on Woodward Sports.
Oh, man, it's time to get in shape. Look at that new graphic. Look at that. It looks amazing. It is time to get in shape. And guess what? It's time to get in shape. Judgment-free. That's right. At Planet Fitness, there is a judgment-free zone, and that's how you can get your workout on and popping. Membership, $0 down. But check this out, $10 a month, or if you want a black card, that's $22.99. What is a black card, you ask? Glad you did. Black card members enjoy the use of amenities such as unlimited tanning. I know that's a good one. Hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, along with access to over 2,000 locations worldwide, and unlimited, that's right, I didn't say this before, unlimited guest privileges. That means if you want to bring somebody with you, a friend, a girlfriend, your brother, your cousin, guess what? They can work out with you. Join today in club online at www.planetfitness.com. www.planetfitness.com. Now open in Midtown Detroit at the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. I would like to meet and run into Cade Cunningham as I'm getting my workout on. Right now, $0 down or $10 a month. Planet Fitness, hiring at all positions. I gotta go work out after that one.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, remember we kind of trashed Ezekiel Elliott?
Yes.
Said he's done?
Yes.
You and I actually had the words come out of our mouth at the same time. Yes.
I still think he's done.
Well, let's put that tweet up there, Sawyer. Look what he played with since week 4.
Torn PCL.
Explain what that is there, Bray.
So there's MCL, PCL, ACL. The ACL is the anterior. The PCL basically is the ligament behind your knee. It's the posterior. And then the MCL is the meniscus or medial lateral ligament.
Whatever those CLs are, you need them all, right?
Yeah, collateral ligament. Yeah, like you need them, and basically they serve as kind of the structure to allow you to plant, jump, hold your knee, and hold everything together. So it's like this, and then you start taking pieces off, it loosens up. You start seeing those tricycles when you're a kid, they start wobbling and wiggling. That's basically how your knee gets as you start to maybe take away a meniscus, maybe take away a PCL.
So what percentage do you think he played at then?
So if he was hurt in his PCL, posterior, he can play and cut a little bit more.
70%?
Yeah, probably a strong 65 to 77 at the most.
Yeah.
Is what he played at.
I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Sure, absolutely.
They say he's coming back and he'll be ready coming up in August.
And I hope that's the case. Right. I mean, I hope that's the case. I certainly don't want him to lose his career but I just running backs, it goes south, it goes bad fast.
And Tony Pollard's there and he's cheap.
And you do stuff like this, you tear your PCL or any other CL, it's freaking hard to come back from.
It's definitely hard to come back from. And saying he's done, I'm not sure that he's done, but it is a tough situation. I mean, if you just look at his stats, over his career, obviously, let's just start in 2018. 1,400, 567 receiving. Next year in 2019, 1,357, 12 tuds, 420 receiving. Last year was a down year. He missed a couple games last year, and they weren't a good team as well. 979, 6 tuds. Still had 338 receiving yards out the backfield last year, 2 tuds. This year, he split time with Tony Pollard.
What do you call them, tuds?
Tuds.
I love that.
Tuds. Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, Tuds.
Yeah.
Tuddies.
I never
See,
heard
look at
that
my boy,
before. I
man,
love
Tuddies.
that.
So and then this year he split time with Tony Pollard, still missed some games and wasn't healthy. He still had 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, his third most ever. Still had 287 out the backfield receiving and 2 touchdowns receiving. So I think it's one of those issues where he's definitely no longer that 1631 that he was in 2016. But I think he still could be really good. And I think we owe him, based on injury, based on the season they had last year with Andy Dalton and Mike McCarthy cutting his teeth, which are probably down to the nubs. But I think we owe him one more season before we say he's washed.
Okay.
And yeah, I stick to that. I think we owe him one more season.
Well, the old Baker Mayfield, anything?
Hell no.
Here he is speaking
he
out
sucks.
yesterday after his shoulder surgery.
Do we?
Hey everybody, just wanted to check in. Surgery went great, was a complete success. Had a great medical team that took care of me and checked that box off to get this fixed, and now it's on the way to the road to recovery. This is one of those steps to get back to my true self. This past year hasn't been very easy. A lot of stuff has gone down, and it wasn't easy on me or my family. So I appreciate everybody that's reached out, that wished me well and good luck on the surgery, all the prayers and everything. It definitely did not go unnoticed. So thank you. Thanks to everybody that's helped out so far. Now it's on the way to the road to recovery. It's not going to be an easy one, but it's going to be one that I'm going to remember, and it's going to be a special one. So I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you so much. But this is not the end of my story. It's just going to be one of those little things that I'll look back and remember that it's one of those challenges and adversity that I'm going to try and take advantage of, and it'll make me a better person. So thank you for everybody that's reached out once again. Let's go get it.
You there?
Braylon.
Wake up.
He tore his labrum in a non-throwing shoulder. He's talking about join my journey, and it's going to be a tremendous journey, and just follow me. Shut up! It's not your right arm. Your right arm. You're right-handed. You throw with your right arm, not your left. Join my journey. This sounds like some BS. He's craving for someone to sympathy and empathize with him because analysts have come out and told the truth about him, which is he's not that good, especially when you don't have all the pieces in play. Like if you got all the pieces in play, sure, I can go in there and win 2 games when I got Kareem Hunt and freaking Nick Chubb in the backfield. When everything's perfect, he can win some games. But when there's a little bit of adversity, he can't be the guy that you're supposed to be when you're drafted #1 overall, mind you. And this is what I get. Oh, well, it's not the end of my jersey. I tore my ACL on my dominant leg and was like, all right, cool, let's get this thing cracking. Where's the rehab at? Let's go do it. And came back, tore my ACL in December, started opening day the very next year. And that's an ACL. That's a major surgery. Not a torn labrum or a cracked collarbone on a non-throwing arm. Baker Mayfield, stop it. Don't come back on Instagram. Don't come back on social media. Just go work out, just rehab, and we'll see you in minicamp. We'll see you down the line because I don't want to hear this BS
They ain't
anymore.
paying him, are they?
No,
They're
not
going to
yet.
pay him.
Not yet. He has one
They got to
last
make
year.
a decision on him.
He's got one.
He's coming back this year.
He's coming back.
They've already said we're going with him
Because
this
it's
year.
it's still only $19 million.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're still getting off free, but they're not bringing him back. Like unless he goes out there.
They're
and
not
does-
giving him $35-40 million a year.
He's not more than a $20 million quarterback.
He's Matthew Stafford. He's a worse version of Matthew Stafford.
Man, don't do Matthew Stafford like
Well,
that.
I'm just saying, like, Stafford's tough. Stafford's a leader and all that stuff, but Stafford, too, needs everything perfect around him. He's not a guy that's going to...
Stafford is still special. Like, Stafford still has special qualities about him. Ain't nothing special about Baker Mayfield. He won the Heisman.
I see that.
He won the Heisman.
I can see that.
Which puts him in a category like...
He won a playoff game last year. Almost beat the Chiefs.
Congratulations. He did the same thing that the Rams did this year. They beat a beat-up Cardinals.
See,
he did the same thing. They wouldn't beat a beat-up
But they
Steelers.
almost beat Mahomes at Arrowhead.
Chad Henne was a quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Man, like I'm not trying to poop on Stafford or Baker.
You win.
Hey, you know how good Chad Henne is, though.
Hey, that's my quarterback.
Isn't he the second to the last guy to win a Big Ten championship for Michigan?
Screw Baker Mayfield.
It's him,
I don't
and
like
now
that
it's
guy.
K. McNamara.
But let me ask you about because
that story just rubs me the wrong way.
Let me just quickly go back to this. Who's got the most stressful situation? I do think that's Aaron Rodgers, because there is nobody, I don't believe, that is gonna poo-poo Matthew Stafford if he goes to Tampa Bay this week and loses to Tom Brady.
To tell you.
You know, he got that monkey off his back. He won the playoff game. Nobody is going to say, oh, you know, unless he just totally craps his pants.
It's so funny, and you're so right. And that's why I picked Aaron Rodgers originally, is because I felt like everything could completely shift if he took an L in the first round for him, because he had a bye. Everything could completely shift if he lost again in the NFC Championship, to where everything is praised. He's the best. He doesn't throw interceptions. He's the man. 13-3, 13-3, 13-3. This is what he does. Just look at the flight of the ball. Look at these throws. All that's cute, and so you keep losing in the playoffs. If they were to lose in the playoffs, watch how fast that narrative would shift. It'd be like, whoa. You'll start to look at the NFC Championship loss, the NFC playoff loss, the not getting to the Super Bowls as someone that's touted. The only other person that gets this much love, that has this little success, is Dan Marino.
And conversely, you know, for Aaron Rodgers, when you're an all-time great like that, and he's considered an all-time great, I don't think one Super Bowl is enough. I just don't. It's not. If you talk about all of the all-time greats, okay, the people that are in the conversation, or excuse me, the people that Aaron Rodgers is in the conversation with,
Peyton Manning,
they all have multiple
Tom,
Super Bowls.
Montana,
Bradshaw,
Elway.
Elway. You know, no offense, but nobody's comparing Aaron Rodgers to Dan Marino. Dan Marino's not in this conversation.
Although he's probably the most talented of all time.
Maybe. Yeah. But nobody's talking about him as the greatest of all time because of the championships. Yeah. For quarterbacks, for great quarterbacks, championships are everything. You know how many championships Terry Bradshaw has. You know how many championships Peyton has.
Charles Barkley is not in the category of the best NBA player of all time.
You know.
How about Troy Aikman?
Hey, look. I'll tell you the quarterback.
Troy.
Here, you want to play a game? You want to play a game real quick? I'll tell you the quarterback. You tell me how many championships he has. Terry Bradshaw.
4.
John Elway.
3. No, John 2.
Troy Aikman.
3.
Tom Brady.
7.
Joe Montana.
4.
Is there anybody else?
Steve Young.
Steve Young. 3.
Is he
2 or 3?
He's got 1 on his own now.
So
he went and earned 1. Peyton Manning.
2.
Yeah.
Nobody has 1.
Eli.
Nobody that has 2. Nobody has 1 in that category that I mentioned. All the pressure in this postseason.
Roger Staubach.
What about Johnny Unitas?
There you go.
Johnny, he's got 1.
1. Yeah, I was about to say he's got 1.
Super Bowl 5.
Okay.
Namath is the only one that has 1.
Namath's got 1.
I don't think he's considered among the greatest quarterbacks to ever play.
No.
Top
personalities.
5, top 6.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Top 7
though.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Aaron Rodgers beyond a Hall of Famer. You got to win more than
Bart
1.
Starr.
Got to.
2.
Got to. Chris Beerman.
I got 1 for
Prince
you.
is next with us.
Brett Favre.
1. He's not in that category, though.
He is.
Nobody talks about Brett Favre in the same breath as Joe Montana, Tom Brady. Nobody.
John Madden did.
They did until the dick pic came out.
Until the dick pic.
John Madden did. He loved Brett Favre.
Boom!
Boom! Right there.
Beerman
Especially
next.
the Monday Night Football where his dad died.
Oh, yeah.
Woodward Sports Network, The Bottom Line.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck, Michigan, and the owner, and, of course, the guy that invented folding, Chris Hutt, and his wife, Noni. Make sure you ask for them. They're great hosts. They will take great care of you. A couple ways to play folding, which is the football bowling game. Throw football at bowling pins. First one to knock them all down you win the game and move on. Host your corporate party, team building event, or even just go and hang out. 2 ways to play. $10 unlimited open play. You can go right at the start and stay all the way to the finish, or a private lane reservation for you and your friends. They got over 100 beers, the $2 mystery beer machine, multiple open bars, full bars, I mean. They're not open. You got to pay for it. You bring your own food or have it delivered. Any way you want to do it, just go get your Foal on. Check them out at foalingwarehouse.com.
This is one of my favorite segments of the week. Maz, I love when we talk to the Beer Man.
The Beer Man is here. Ryan stepped out for a quick second, so we get to open it up. What's up, Beer?
Chris Prince in the building. Let's go ahead and put Chris up there. Let's talk about his weekend last weekend. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Braylon. Welcome back, man. Good to have you back, man.
I really
my
appreciate
guy, how we
that.
doing? And
We're doing good. Go ahead, Ryan. Walk in.
Comes up, and we've already issued a challenge, and Ryan runs away. So,
hey, you're not gonna do my teammate like that. I'm back in the building. He's back. We're
Sorry,
ready.
man.
There he is.
I had to go to the bathroom so bad I couldn't wait. These 30-second commercial breaks.
They're great until they're not.
They're great until you need to go to the bathroom.
Hey, Beer Man,
you got to do what you got to do, man.
Beer Man issued a foaling challenge to you and Braylon.
Let's do it.
We're ready.
Let's do it in February.
February? February sounds good for you?
We'll make a date in February.
We'll make a date out of it, man. Maybe like the Saturday before the Super Bowl or something. Ooh.
Hey, Beer,
Look at that.
how'd you do on Wild Card Weekend, Beer?
Some ups, some downs. I mean, I don't think there was any major surprises last weekend. You know, some may think San Francisco was a surprise. We kind of talked about that. They had the goods to go in there and get that game won. So I think everything kind of played out. So all in all, Maz, a pretty solid weekend for us. We want to continue that role here, though, in the divisional round. Some great games on the slate here this weekend.
What's the first one that jumps out at you? You think is good value? You love? What's the
Put them in order.
Yeah.
Best bet down to, maybe stay away from this one.
My favorite is the Buffalo Bills are going to go into Kansas City and win this game. So I don't, the spread is kind of tilting towards that route. I know a lot of people riding the Chiefs here. They're on fire. They're winning a lot of games. I know Braylon's a big supporter of the Chiefs, so interested in his take here. But to me, guys, Buffalo has the goods on offense to compete with this team. If it gets into a shootout, they can put points on the board. They've gone into Arrowhead last year in the playoffs. They've experienced this. They took their loss. I'm a big believer in you earn your stripes, and they went there earlier this year and dominated that game. So they are on a roll. I know they're beating bad teams, but I'll put their offense up against the Chiefs any day of the week. And to me, they have the better defense as well. Buffalo, my favorite bet of the weekend.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with him on that. Beerman, I agree with you. Buffalo's playing tremendous. They're playing re-inspired football. Maz brought up a good point a couple weeks ago. He said that they literally almost won all the games that they were in. They had some decisions. They went for it on a couple fourth downs. They weren't rewarded, etc. And they recouped. Like, you look at what they did last year in the playoffs, losing to the Chiefs, and how they played the Chiefs this year in the regular season. You saw it in their eyes that they were like, no. We got to have that. And then you saw last week, Josh Allen, man, and what they did last week, like, it's hard to watch that and bet against them the rest of the playoff. Like, I understand it was the Patriots. I understand it was at home. It was in the cold. It screamed Buffalo, O.J. Simpson, and Reggie McKenzie. Shout out to University of Michigan. It screamed that. And he played amazing. So I would have to agree. I wouldn't bet against him. I actually think I might bet with Buffalo.
Yep.
Hey,
next. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, what do you got next? We're going on the same page there.
Some are going to love this. Some are going to hate it. We know the Matthew Stafford divide here locally. I'm going to stay on Sunday. Guys, I think the Rams win that game. And again, it's always tough to bet against Tom Brady. If you've done that over the last 500 years that he's been a quarterback, you're probably losing money. But I think the Rams, again, have the goods. Now, Stafford is the wild card here. We know how well is he going to play? Is he going to turn the ball over? But when I look at this matchup, the focus for me, the Rams on defense. I mean, we're talking Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey. I mean, they got a lot of studs on that side of the ball. That Tampa Bay offensive line, a little bit beat up. We saw Tristan Wirfs, who's been incredible over his first 2 years in the league, limp off the field. What's his health going to be like? They got some other injuries they're dealing with. They get Leonard Fournette back, but they're still missing guys like Godwin, Antonio Brown. So this is not the Tampa Bay offense that's clicked on all cylinders this season. Sure, they beat Philadelphia. That I think we all saw coming. I think the Rams go in there and get this done. If Stafford can minimize the turnovers, Cam Akers looked electric. If they can establish some sort of running game, but that defense, guys, I think is going to cause fits for Tom Brady. We know it's kryptonite. You put some pressure on him. You make him move out of that pocket, make him feel uncomfortable. That's how you can get to this team. I think the Rams do exactly that here on Sunday.
Beer Maz texted me on Monday night at halftime and said Stafford and the Rams are going to beat the Bucs next week. I mean, it's just and that's Tom Brady's 14-2 in the divisional round. I mean,
he's a winner, man.
Nuts.
He's just a winner.
It's nuts.
It's
but
extremely,
you know what? It's got to end sometime.
It does have to end sometime. It's extremely tough to bet against Tom Brady. But the one thing on the Rams side, and you kind of touched on it, is you forget about how hungry Odell Beckham is at this point. You forget about how hungry Von Miller is. Von Miller hadn't won a game since the Super Bowl. Until last week. So you forget about little intangibles like that. And, oh, by the way, introduce that guy Cam Akers. Oh, he was fun to watch.
Yeah, he was. He's great.
I'm sold.
Take me to the Saturday games, Beer.
All right, Saturday, not as clear, and I'm going to go against my team here. I couldn't come on wearing a Green Bay hat, so I had to switch it up. Baz, I think Green Bay wins the game, but I think San Francisco is good enough, and we saw that last week. They are a pesky team. They are going to fight, claw every step of the way. They can get that running game going. Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to play? I think is the wild card, but I think he gives it a go here. You know, when your season's on the line, you're going to be in there unless you're physically unable to walk out on that field. But I think it's going to be a very close game. Green Bay has been good at home, pretty much unbeatable against the spread. They haven't lost a game there. I think they find a way, but we saw this matchup earlier this season. It came down to an Aaron Rodgers miracle and that field goal at the end. I think we get a similar type game here. I think the Niners be a little bit disrespected here. You know, if you can get it at 6, I like taking them in the points. Green Bay wins. San Francisco covers in this one.
Spread went up, but from 4.5 to 6, which I don't get. I thought it would go down, if anything, but I guess it is the Jimmy Garoppolo injury, maybe.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm taking the 49ers.
If it's Trey Lance, I think you're going to see them struggle. I mean, that's a big ask to ask this kid to go on the road to Lambeau Field on a Saturday night in weather you barely played this season and carry your team to victory. So as much as I'm a believer in Trey Lance long term, they're going to need Garoppolo in there. And he's even been a little bit risky, so he's certainly a wild card with his turnover prone. We saw that in Dallas. They ended up surviving. But, I think we get a close game here. Green Bay survives, but the Niners cover that number.
So by my unofficial count, Beer, that's 3 underdogs in 3 games. That leaves the Bengals and the Titans.
I'm taking the 49ers, by the way.
Oh, you are taking the 49ers.
Because if Jay Cutler never gets hurt, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a Super Bowl.
Look at that.
There we go.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Titans 3.5-point favorites over the Bengals.
So I'd love to make it 4 for 4 here, Ryan. But I think I think we're forgetting how good the Titans are. I mean, for them to be the number 1 seed in the AFC with a Buffalo, with a Kansas City, they're getting their big dog back in Derrick Henry, who I think is going to be full go, ready to go in this game. Cincinnati's been a nice story. You know, they get a playoff win. They beat the Raiders, as we expected. But to go on the road here, as good as this team is going to be down the line, as electric as this offense has been, I think you could see them struggle a little bit. So, again, I'm a big believer in you earn your stripes. They won that first playoff game. They run into a roadblock here. They come back next year. Now we're talking they're in contention for an AFC championship. So, it's a trendy bet. The Bengals are probably the underdog that most people are going to look at here after what they did last week. I think 3.5 is too low here. I'm going with the Titans this week, Ryan.
The Cincinnati Bengals, including last week, they won this year with your boy at quarterback, Joe Burrow. They won in spite of what position on the field?
Offensive line.
Guess who the hell the Titans got? In terms of Harold Landry and Simmons, they are going to be destroying the Bengals' offensive line all day. Got to take the Titans.
Any of these totals jump out at you, Beer?
Over.
I mean, it's kind of a mix. I think the Niners-Packers, we probably see some scoring in that one, so I like the over there. That Bills-Chiefs game, I think we get fireworks, so that one's sitting around 54. So I like both of the overs there. I think the under 2 could play more to an under. So I like the spreads better than the totals this week, Ryan, but for me, 2 overs, 2 unders here.
All right, Beer, it's divisional round, all right? I want your Super Bowl right now.
I got to put my Packers in there, Maz.
Me too.
I think they have the goods. They're getting healthy. If they can get Jair Alexander back out there, David Bakhtiari, if they can get Zadarius Smith back somehow, I mean, they are one of the healthier teams going into the playoffs here. I heard you guys throwing some shade at my boy Aaron Rodgers. I don't disagree with you. We should have way more titles here than the one that he has. But I think they have the goods here. I think they're going to end up matching up with Buffalo, Maz. I love the way this team is playing. If they can get through the Chiefs, I think they can go to Tennessee or Cincinnati and win. Josh Allen has been electric. Singletary's been a revelation. I'm going with Green Bay and Buffalo in the Super Bowl.
I said this, Beer.
That's what Maz said.
If the Packers win this week, no one's beating them. This is the only week to beat them.
Yeah, because if
my
they
pick.
lose, then that means they couldn't play the game.
I'm just saying. This is the only team that could beat them. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, we saw Tom Brady come in last year to Lambeau and
He ain't
almost the
coming
same
in this
scenario
time.
and win.
There's fans this year.
And the Rams, I worry about their
That's a good
defense. The defense travels. That's the one thing you can always count on the road. So, I would love to be along with you on that, Maz. I am a pessimistic Packer fan, but I do think they find their way there.
Beer your mouth to Maz's pockets because he's got a future on the Packers winning the Super Bowl and the Bills winning the Super Bowl. So if it's Packers-Bills, he's going to be drunk and
not bad. Plus 1,000 and plus 790.
He's going to be
not
drunk.
bad.
Let's get him, Maz. Not bad. Let's get. We might have to get Maz in Scotty G's spot.
I'm telling you.
Woodward bets.
I'm telling you.
Woodward bets tonight, 6 o'clock. Chris Prince, Beerman with Scotty G and the rest of the gang. Chris, thanks so much, my friend. We'll look forward to checking you on Wild Card Weekend. I missed the hoops tonight.
NBA, man. NBA.
I missed the hoops tonight.
Man.
Oh, man, I'm up against the clock. Armani and Edwards.
Hey, Russell Westbrook is shooting 32% in the NBA. That is freaking awful. Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. That is horrible.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes?
Touchdown! What a play!
Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet. The Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet, located in the great city of Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. General Motors announced that all-new electric Chevrolet Silverado. Reservations now open on Chevy.com. Les Stanford going to have one of the largest allocations of that vehicle, so make sure you get in line at Les Stanford Chevrolet. For more, call them today, 313-565-6000, 313-565-6000, or online at lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com. Find new roads.
Better find them.
Maz, you got an update on NBA play from Beer.
Take the Knicks and lay the 4 tonight. I don't even know who the hell they're playing, but take the Knickerbockers.
Does it matter?
The spirit of 1973. That's right. I was 11 years old when the Knicks won the World Championship.
Gorgeous.
Lay the 4 tonight.
Lay it.
That's what the beer man
Walt
says.
Frazier in the game or something.
That's right. He was my guy, man.
Walt,
Clyde,
Willis
baby.
Reed.
I had the Clyde the sneakers. Had all the colors, man. The Pumas.
He was clean.
It is that time of the day we like to play Maz's Videos of the Day.
I got some good ones, but the first one I'm leading off with should have went in Braylon's Basketball Minute. It's ESPN's Kendrick Perkins, who I love. This guy, he will just trash whoever the hell is in his way. You know who he's going after?
Except one person. He won't talk about LeBron.
He won't?
No, because they play AAU basketball together.
Yeah, but he's talking about LeBron's team.
Key word. His team,
His
not LeBron.
team. He's talking about.
Is he blaming LeBron?
He didn't say LeBron, though. Okay. Let's listen to him. This is Kendrick Perkins defending Lakers head coach Frank Vogel.
Frank Vogel being the scapegoat is ridiculous. And I feel like a guy that you just won a championship as your head coach 2 years ago, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, y'all got to come to this man's defense.
Sure.
You know, we talked about the other night
Always.
when they were playing the Utah Jazz and the lineup that they had that were doing well. A lot of guys, Avery Bradley, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Stanley Johnson, you know, etc. But, you know, Russell Westbrook, it's not Frank Vogel's fault that Russell Westbrook is not getting up over screens. It's not Frank Vogel's fault when Melo is healthy, he's on the floor, that he's giving up 30 points on the defensive end because he can't guard a park car. So I want to see LeBron James and Anthony Davis actually come out and stand up for that guy, because it's not Frank Vogel's fault why the Lakers are in the position that they're in right now.
The first thing that I would like to say is, when you think about big men, you say big man, they can't look smooth, they can't look sexy. That's a hell of a beard, big man. That was a nice turtleneck collar under a nice blue blazer. Excuse me.
Very
nice. Nice shot, big guy.
I like what he said about Carmelo. He can't guard a parked car.
But that goes back to it's LeBron's fault, and that's what I said in the Braylon NBA minute. Nah, but like he picked this team. He went and got his homeboy Melo, and I'm not mad that Melo's on the NBA squad because he deserves to be. But what Melo did in his prime was score points, but not do what? Play defense. So you know you're not getting defense out of him. Russell Westbrook, you know you're not getting defense out of him. You traded away anybody that could play defense and come off your bench. Everything he's saying is right. It's not Frank Vogel's fault. Well, LeBron wanted this team, much like the team he wanted in Cleveland the one year, and got rid of everybody after Christmas and started over, including Dwayne Wade. LeBron put this team in place. It is his fault. It's not on Frank Vogel.
I love the way Stanley Johnson's playing, though.
Exactly.
Stanley Johnson.
Yeah, he plays for the Lakers. That's what happens when you get a $40 million point guard that can't shoot or play defense.
Right.
You got to go find players to fill roles.
Scrap heap.
Crazy.
Hey, let's get to some of your favorite players. Aaron Donald and Von Miller. Here's they are. NFL Films picks up the chatter on the sidelines.
Feel good, my boy. Feel good. I think we ain't done yet. I said.
What do you say?
We ain't
What
done
do you
yet.
say?
We ain't done yet, he says.
I'm just talking over the video so don't get
Feel
pulled
good,
down.
Oh, feel good, my boy.
We're not going to get pulled down for this.
Feel good, my boy.
I said.
I said.
I think we ain't done yet.
Hey, let's go to the other game. How about
would you like to
Debo?
just look at them across the line from you? Jesus Christ.
Hey, Debo Samuel, is he electric
Player.
or is he something, man?
Just even everything he does just has a level of energy and intensity, from the way he walks into the game, way he runs the football, catches the football, talks to his quarterback.
He gets better every week.
Man, it's like he's what you call what's the word when like you just feed off of them, man. He's electric, like you feed off of.
It's like a unicorn.
He is.
Listen to him. He's mic'd up.
Talking to his head coach, by the way, talking about Kyle.
Let's go put the ball in the box. Let's go.
Garoppolo in the gun. Debo Samuel left. And they hand
Let's
off
go.
to Debo. Coming to the right. Gets a block.
Go,
from
Debo.
Brunskill. Cut back by Debo.
Debo.
10.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
What a player.
Look at that.
San
Look at that.
Francisco.
Fred Cisco.
Bob Papa.
I'm surprised Bob Papa doesn't say Santa Clara.
You know what you can tell about certain players, and
That's
I've
why they
always
play.
you can tell when guys used to play defense by how they play the game. You could tell Debo Samuel was a defensive standout in high school. You could tell Debo Samuel probably went to college as a defensive player and got turned into a wide receiver. He plays the game from a physical standpoint. Like I played real finesse-like until I got to Bishop Gallagher in high school, and I played DN and linebacker and safety and got taught how to hit, started approaching from a different angle. You can tell that guy was a defensive player.
Hey, Lions Rumble 81 on YouTube says Maz is going to have nightmares about Debo Samuel this weekend. Saturday night, it's the Packers and the Niners. I can't wait for that game. It's gonna be a beauty. I'll leave you with one more. It's Richard Sherman, my man from 8 years ago. Remember?
8 years?
LOB! Put him up.
It's been 8 years.
40 seconds to play in the game.
Look at this.
He's a boom cat.
They're back.
Broken up. Picked off.
It's over.
Malcolm.
It's over. Joe Buck. Here comes the interview with Richard Sherman now.
Oh, my God.
Here we go. Oh.
Richard, let me ask you the
It wasn't his
final
fault.
play. Take me through it.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you find me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who?
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the
Sorry.
Who's talking about you?
Here he comes.
Crabtree was.
Legion of Boom.
Love those guys.
Who are you Who's talking about you?
Oh yeah, Aaron.
Aaron Andrews did a good job with that interview.
Yeah, I played for
She
both
did a
those
great
teams.
Don't
like
you
the year
ever
before
talk?
that.
I think she thought initially
He was talking about
yeah, right, the
But to see her
broadcast
rolling
team.
her eyes the whole time, she really did a good job on that interview.
She did a good job, and it
That
happened
was
like
a hell. That was a hell of a Seahawk team.
Yeah,
too.
it was.
I was on that team the year before that.
Damn it!
Missed by an inch. I think the year I was on the year that we lost to the Falcons.
Oh,
Yep.
2012,
2013. Yeah.
Man,
the Falcons beat the Seahawks.
Yeah.
on their way to the Super Bowl.
Look at Sam. He said, "Yeah."
told
He
you.
remembered.
Told you.
I told you.
I'm just saying, that's my guy, man. He knows his stuff.
Guys, great day today. Braylon, get us out of here, man.
You know, we love sports. We talk about it. Sports is fun and invigorating, but there are other things in life as well. And we had to touch on an instance today with Malik McDowell. And, you know, just getting back to that, touching on that, man, talk to somebody. Like, if you see people going through things in life, be there for them. Talk to them. Ask how someone's day is. Because, you know, I remember when I first retired from the NFL. And it doesn't have to be sport related, but I was down. I was depressed. And I had people reached out to me. My mom, my dad, my sisters, my cousins. I have friends. So just, you know, talk to people. Like, just if you see somebody struggling or going through something, it could be a mom, a dad, it could be whatever. Just reach out and say, hey, I'm here for you if you want to talk. Here's a hug. You know, let's go out and get some food. Reach out to friends, family, or people that you work with. When you see them down, just be there, because you never know. That little comment you can make, that little pat on the back, that, hey, did you see the game last night? That little can go a long way. So just, you know, think about that, man, and enjoy some sports tonight, man, you know, and come back and watch us tomorrow, man. It's the bottom line with Edwards, Hermione, Sam, my man, Sawyer
Binge,
doing
baby.
a hell of a job last 2 days.
Job.
And as always,
Shout out to Elmay.
shout out to Almay. We will see you next week, big guy. We will miss you. We will see you and the big guy on the couch, Big Maz. Bottom line, we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.